Good afternoon, everybody. And today we are talking about sales tax. And obviously, sales tax is a state tax. It's not regulated by Biden's office, by the White House or Congress. It is decided within the state. So for that reason, we made it clear that this webinar, it is for people who are doing business in Iowa. If you're doing business in Minnesota, in California, like where we have our branches at, and then this one, it doesn't really apply to you, just for our Iowan business. All right. So let's go with me and traveling. We like to travel on internet. We will talk about the sales tax, use tax, the changes that is coming in. So hopefully after this webinar, that, I need to do something or not. So, this is the website we're going to be focusing on, and we're talking about sales tax, use tax. If I click this plus sign, it gives the next link for you to go in, and you see how they have this GovConnect Iowa, and this is a thing, right? This is a new thing, started from November last year, and in January, this is what rolled in. So now most of the businesses already registered into GovConnect Iowa and start doing tax submission, reporting, getting notice as all in this portal. Of course, our client, we actually register the portal as your agent. So as an agent, we have a whole bunch of lists for clients, GovConnect Iowa account. So we can go into each one of them and to see where you are, whether you got a notice or not. So it's pretty convenient for even for people like us, like for, CPA firms. So now let's get going with the content. It's not that we're boring. We always use PowerPoint. Trust me, to have that PowerPoint there guide my thinking, so I make sure that I don't go off tangent and do something like wasn't planned for. But at the same time, it's also because we have done the research behind the scene, because we don't put anything on the slides if it is not important. So when we put that on the slide, like for example, the sales tax update, we have already had as the librarian, and she already gone through the search and the finding informations, and I coming in to review that. Now I'm talking to you, so it is have gone through the necessary due diligence, so we know that we're doing the right thing for you. And before I start our presentation, I always want to announce that we're looking for a digital marketer. And you might wonder, what is digital marketer means? We want someone can help us to utilize our 600 videos in YouTube channel and help us to push YouTube viewership. And if you have a friend in business, please tell them to subscribe to our channel. And also we want this digital marketer to come in to help us shrink those videos into small size of videos, so we can post them on Facebook, post them on LinkedIn. And we can't post 45 minutes long stuff, is too long. So we want 45 seconds, and that need some really solid work. So we're looking for that individual or even a company, but we want to find someone who can help us. So this is the advertising for ourselves and the job opening at Community CPA. And you can email that to Catherine@communitycpa.com. And no responsibility disclaimer, of course. Don't trust internet information if you don't know that provider. And IRS, so you can trust on irs.gov. And state of Iowa, so you can trust that stateofiowa.gov. But you don't want to trust someone, it just have a pretty face and a good background and a fun talk and then become expert. Just be aware of that. It's not always that way, right? All right. So the Iowa sales tax update. The Iowa Department of Revenue, that stands for IDR, right? That IDR here stands for Iowa Department of Revenue, announced changes. They announced changes that effective from July 1st of 2022. So we're still in July. So that change just came in place on the 1st of July. And of course, this one is Governor Kim Reynolds, and she signed into the law. Okay, this is a Senate file 2367. If you want to see the DOS-looking legal documents related to this part, and that's in that file. And this one is basically updating the sales tax and use tax and the filing and the certain payment method is updating all of that related to sales tax and the use tax, access tax. And you know, when we say sales tax, you know what that is, right? You go to a store to buy things and they charge you sales tax. Use tax are the taxes that you're supposed to pay, you should pay when you buy something without sales tax charged and you are getting it before you paid sales tax, then you should be calculating use tax and file for consumer use tax because you are using it, so you're supposed to pay taxes. If you live in Iowa, you're supposed to file consumer tax for that. Then, of course, there's a hotel tax, and there's automobile tax. Those are excess taxes, sort of like sales and use tax, but they have a different category. So that also is together with this have some updates. So when do they go to into effect? That effective date is July 1st, 2022. So your first change will be reflected in August, right? Because you're July 1st, that whole month of July, you collected sales tax. And normally you don't need to do anything until the end of October because you are a quarterly filer and you know your July sales, you know your August, you know your September sales. Then at the end of the quarter, you will pay for that total. But the change is affecting you if you are a quarterly filer because it says that taxpayer will need to file new sales and a use return on or before August 31st for tax collected in July. You see, they no longer allow you to hold on to it for 2 more months. They want all the taxes to go in and by the end of August for all the taxes you collected on July 1st. The key changes, one return. What does that mean? That means, you remember earlier I was saying that if you bought something on the internet, you didn't pay sales tax, you would have filed the consumer sales tax, use tax, and to pay for it. Those are different forms. So sales tax and use tax are totally different forms. So now they made it one. So they are no longer separated. When you start a new business, and maybe you start a new business in July, and you bought a whole bunch of equipment that you did not pay sales tax, but you also charge a whole bunch of customers, and you have sales tax collected. Then this time in August, when you file July sales tax and the use tax, you will do one return that you will mark on the equipment you bought that you didn't pay sales tax. That's called a use tax because you are using that equipment in your business. You're self-using that equipment, you're not retailing it, so you need to pay use tax, right? And then you also retail certain things, so you will collect sales tax and pay sales tax. So see, 2 taxes in one, you're gonna do it together. So the slide says that all sales and use tax will be filed on a single return. Okay, if you have both a sales tax and use tax permit for your business location, the department will cancel the one that are needed for you. So you just have one. And keep in mind that if you are a business has multiple locations, your sales tax permit need to be by location. It is not like, oh, I have one legal company, I have 5 other locations, I just file one tax return. No, because you need to file separate sales tax return. And there are times there's a local tax related to sales tax, right? So sometimes you know that there's some counties, their taxes is 1% higher than Polk County, for example. So you want to make sure that you know that each location needs to have a one sales tax permit, and now you don't need to have a use tax permit separately and they're all combined. So you file one return. All right. What was the other change? Filing frequency. Remember, there were times and you can file annually, you can file quarterly, you can file monthly. Sometimes you even have to file bi-weekly, right? And it is all related to the amount of sales tax you collected. The more you collect the sales tax, the more frequently you should pay for it. So now the state said that, oh, let's make a change. We don't want the quarterly anymore. We just want annual. If your total sales tax collected in the year is less than $1,200. So read that first one. The taxpayer collected less than $1,200 in sales and use tax per year will file returns and pay tax annually. So you're good. If you collected $1,190, you're under this threshold, you should file annually. But if you're above even by $1, okay, then you need to file that monthly. So if you go, I don't know whether I'm going to go above or not, and you filed annually anyway, then the next year you will get a notice from the state telling you that you need to file monthly. So the frequency is something that you need to know. So just keep in mind that dollar amount, that 1,200 is the tax dollar. It's not your sales gross, right? It's not your gross sales amount. It's the sales tax amount that you need to pay. All right. Then the next one is deposit. That's also a key change because we used to be able to, deposit almost any way you want. You bring money to the state Hoover building and you got that paid, or you mail into your check, or you do it electronically payment. So at our firm, all of our sales taxes are paid electronically. We don't need our client to write a check, and we just route the payment from client's account to the state account. And so payment are due only when the sales and use tax return is filed. What that means is there's estimated tax payment on sales tax and use tax. You just pay when you have it, right? Let's say if you have sales tax in 1 month, that's already 1,500, and then next month you had a zero. The following month you had a zero. When you have 1 month that is already over the threshold, then the rest is all zero. You're gonna file zero. Otherwise, the state think that you forgot to file. Okay, so you only want to pay when you have it. So the payment is due only when the return is filed. And you can continue to make deposit using GovConnect Iowa, but it is not required for you to pay it ahead of time. All right, so that is the deposit, and I want to make sure we understand. And e-filing, okay? And yes, e-filing mandate means that they want you to do electronic filing. But if you don't do electronic filing, you're late and you're subject to penalty and interest charges, right? And the payment made in the wrong manner or form may incur a penalty according to the code section 421. Okay, if you are assessed a penalty and want to request it to be waived, and you need to complete this penalty waiver request. So when you probably went out of the country for a month and a half, came back, your sales tax wasn't really filed, and Community CPA couldn't find you anywhere. We don't know what to do with your sales tax, so it wasn't filed. If that's the case, you got penalized, and then the penalty waiver request is the route to go. In the very beginning, when we change the system and you just happen to be wrong and you happen to be late, and the state is very willing to consider the circumstances to waive the penalty. So don't be shy to put in penalty waiver request. What do you lose? Nothing. You just probably lose your penalty amount, or if you don't lose the amount you tried, so then that is still worth doing, right? Now let's go to how do I know my filing frequency? And that is literally a question we're getting it daily right now because people are a little bit confused and did not know July 1st starting. What does that mean? So that means I need to June is my second quarter still quarterly? So those kind of questions, right? And just keep in mind, if you were quarterly filer and starting from July 1st, you become monthly filer, but the first month report and payment is due at the end of August. So you're not late, you're totally timely. That's why we're putting the webinar right now, not later, right? So we just want you to know that you are coming into the end of August. That's why you're gonna pay July. There's no such thing about quarterly payment anymore, folks. Just do it monthly, right? And you can also, this is where is that the department will send notice to you by mail if your address is right. Sometimes the address is wrong, so the mail goes to somewhere. And or you can check your GovConnect Iowa account. And if you notice from department, and you may need to update the address that they have on file for you, okay? And so the bottom line is you should know your filing frequency. If you just absolutely don't know, the state website is confusing to you, and then you just come to us. We'll figure it out for you, okay? So let's understand this thing. It's called GovConnect Iowa. GovConnect is a third-party service provider to the government, and they actually already implemented GovConnect Iowa, GovConnect Illinois. They already implemented this for 32 states. So a lot of states are using GovConnect. So what you are using is nothing new, and it is already proven to be successful. That's how the government here in Iowa choose the vendors to do this governmental work, right? So now we started this GovConnect on January this year. So if you are not still not knowing where that is and how to log in, you are so behind the time. And just make sure you get in to create your own account. If you are Community CPA's client, you don't need to worry because we actually already created the agent account and created your account with you, and we are already properly set up. We probably only a handful of clients are still struggling with setting it up, but majority of our clients is already done. So you can file your taxes on GovConnect Iowa. It is really convenient. You can see all your histories of your tax filing. And right now, I didn't really check recently, but back in March, I know they don't have histories because it's so new. But I knew that with time, the government is loading up the history so you can see your history. Okay, and if you need help, GovConnect Iowa has a help page that you can literally contact and go online. And I know it is so not fair, right? A lot of our older generations, they're not used to going online. As soon as you say go online portal, the word of portal, it just make them busy and they already scared. But if you are one of those and you just have this mental blockage about portal, no worries, and you can have us to help you. But to set up GovConnect Iowa is not a choice. It is a must. So you need to go in, get that set up so you can know your filing frequencies. You can know how much rate you should file. All of this is going to come in there. Right now, the only thing is not in GovConnect Iowa. It is actually the tax payment for personal income tax and the business income tax are not there yet. So withholding, sales tax, excess tax, everything is in there. And I know that workforce will go in there as well. And you know, the liquor licensing board, they're working on merging that into a GovConnect Iowa as well. So that is going to be your Iowa business tax portal, period. So make sure you open that up. All right. This is actually the content we want to share. And here is our information 3 p.m. webinar. Folks, I mean, I am getting so used to talking to folks at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Tuesday, Saturday. I felt like every time I'm here, even though you're on the other side, you can't really talk to me, I felt the connection. So I appreciate you are here, and let more friends and the business owners know about us, please. That is what we want you to help us. And, you can call our 515-288-3188 number, and we open Saturdays. So keep that in mind. And I will talk to you again on Saturday, 3 p.m., as I promised. Bye-bye.